What's going on, everyone? This offseason was an absolute roller coaster ride with many speculation that a trade would happen, right? Russell Westbrook would be traded to the Jazz, you heard the Charlotte Hornets, the Kyrie deal at one point, the Pacers. I mean, it was just this endless cycle of information of Russell Westbrook potentially getting traded. Lakers don't want to give up the picks, this, that, and the other. Well, today is media day, and Rob Pelinka addressed the trade and why he didn't make a trade, why he didn't make a deal, and all of that. So let's get into some of the stuff that he said. So one of the things he said, we have one of the greatest players of all time on our team in LeBron James, and he committed to us long-term with the contract extension. We're committed to putting the best team around LeBron as long as it is a smart trade. He also went on to say, we will do everything we can, picks included, to help the Lakers get to the end with LeBron James. But Pelinka then also talked about the serpentine rule and how Lakers have one shot with the 2 first-round picks. So the stipend rule is something that, it's the rule that you can't trade, back-to-back years, things like that. It makes trading picks very complicated because of the stipend rule. But he also said, you have one shot to make a trade with multiple picks, and you have to make that trade. It has to be the right one. So we're being very thoughtful around decisions about when to use draft capital. So I completely agree with Rob Pelinka, and I am glad he didn't make a deal just to make a deal, because he's right. We have one shot, one chance to use these, assets to make a deal that really improves this team. And as much as we would have loved the Pacers deal, doesn't solve our biggest problem, which is wing defense. We have plenty of bigs. There's lots of questions about Miles Turner. Is he injury prone? Can he commit long term? He wants 20 plus million. Is he worth that? He's a 12-7 guy. Buddy Hield, as great as he is, isn't on the best contract. And not just that, he's very one-dimensional. Yeah, he'll put the ball in the hoop, absolutely. But we aren't going to very likely have problems scoring. We didn't have problems scoring last year. It was defense. It was stopping people. And this makes us better defensively down low, gives us that Anthony Davis insurance, stuff like that. But if Miles Turner is hurt as much, if not more than Anthony Davis, then it doesn't solve anything. And does this make us a legit contender? Does this take us that much further? Let's say we're, a 7th seed right now. This deal makes us a 6 seed, maybe a 5 seed. This doesn't make us like a 1 or 2 seed. Same thing with the Jazz deal, same with everything else. If you're going to make the deal, it has to be the right deal. And that doesn't necessarily mean a superstar. He wasn't saying like we're only going to trade it for a superstar, stuff like that. But it has to be enough to where the Lakers feel comfortable we're in a position. And it's better to wait and see what tomorrow brings. Who knows what happens at the trade deadline, which disgruntled star or like mid-tier guy or something like that wants out. And now you're in a position, like not even like a Kyrie or anything like that. Let's say like a Gary Trent Jr. could opt out with the Toronto Raptors. Like what if he at the trade deadline's like, you know what? I want to be traded. I want to go to the Lakers. Trade me the Lakers. I'm not saying that that'll happen, but who knows what will happen? Who knows what is on the horizon? And if the Lakers gave up all their picks and made this trade just to make a trade, just to move off of Russell Westbrook, and a better deal comes along, and now we can't even throw our hat in the ring, like that's just not good from a GM perspective. It's not good from the fandom. And all the people that are like, the Lakers should have done a trade, all of those same people are going to be like, that was stupid. Rob Pelinka shouldn't have done that deal, especially if we're not good still. You know what I mean? Like, what if we're not that much better? Or what happens if we're, just as bad as we would have been? Or, we're still a 7th seed, even with that. It's like, so we just did a deal just to do a deal, just to move off of Russell Westbrook. We lost all of our flexibility. We lost all of our assets. Like, what's the point? And so I do like Rob Pelinka saying, we only have one shot at this. The serpentine rule is something that like you can only do and use and capitalize on so many assets. So why would you just get rid of those assets just for the sake of getting rid of them? And we saw what the Jazz were willing to do. I mean, there was even a report from Tony Jones yesterday where he talks about how the Jazz had basically 2 offers. It was a heavily protected first, and then they also wanted them to take on long-term salary. And then the other deal was for, as he put, one of the worst contracts, potentially one of the worst contracts in the league. So it's not like the Jazz had a bunch of offers and assets as they were trying to pretend like there was to move off Bogdanovich. And we saw that. He moved off of Bogdanovich for peanuts. Whether people think it's a good deal or not, I don't think it was. I don't think it made sense. But I mean, if the only offers were, either to give up Vanderbilt or to take on bad salary, okay, then that makes more sense. That's more understandable. Because if you're Utah, neither of that makes sense. But it would have been good to get some assets, right? It would have been better to get some assets. But it proved that Utah was just trying to fleece the Lakers. Everyone just wants to fleece the Lakers out of those 2 picks because they know how very likely those picks could be valued. And you're talking about potential lottery picks. And they know the Lakers are in a position where they have a clunky fit with Russell Westbrook. So it's better to be bad 1 year than it is to potentially be bad several years. A lot of people talk about like, oh, we're wasting a season of LeBron. We're punting the season, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that's the case. But even if you're right, even if that is true, it's better to punt 1 season than several seasons. Look at the Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov thing. We just finished paying Luol Deng. And that was because you had Mitch Kupchak, who just wanted to stay relevant, who just wanted to go get assets, and he ended up making a terrible deal just for the sake of doing a deal. And we were paying for it for, 6 years after or whatever it was. Like, that's insane. Like, you don't need a deal just to do a deal. No deal is better than a bad deal, and especially one that potentially puts us in a position to be bad for several years. What if we did the Pacers deal? We extended Miles Turner. He's coming off of a season-ending injury. A lot of people say that, oh, no, he could have came back, this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? Whether that's true or not, he still missed the whole season. He still got injured and missed the entire season. And so that is still an actual thing that happened. So, like, what happens if that happens again this year? And you maximize him. And what if he can't stay healthy? And Buddy Hield is just, he's the turn, he's just an open door on the defense. And we get these guys, and we're still not very good. We're still a 7th or 6th seed. But now, guess what? Now this is our team for the next 3 to 4 years because we're capped out. We have no assets to move off anybody. We have nothing. Like, is the risk worth the reward? That's something that you have to ask. And I'm glad that Rob Pelinka didn't just make a deal just to make a deal because he looked at the risks. He realized, like, the risks aren't worth the reward and it isn't going to make us that much better. There's a reason GMs are GMs. There's a reason GMs get paid millions and millions of dollars to make these decisions. If GMs listen to fans, every organization would just be a complete just mess. Every organization would just be making the dumbest trades in the world because everybody wants something else. Everyone thinks they know better than this person, all that stuff. Like, none of us know anything. We weren't in the discussions. We weren't in the room when they were talking and hearing what the other side wanted. We are only basing our opinions and our thoughts based on the reports that are being put out, which we don't even know how accurate they are. I've always said when we making reports of that, take things with a grain of salt because who knows? Unless you're actually in that room, a lot of times teams will make leverage plays through the media. They'll let the media know. That's why I've always said you got to look at where is this coming from? Is this a Lakers source? Is this a Jazz source? Is this, a neutral source? Like, where is it coming from? And who does this report benefit? Because those are all things you got to keep in mind, And, like, none of the deals, like, the only deal that made sense was the Kyrie deal, but that was never happening unless Kevin Durant left. As long as Kevin Durant didn't leave, guess what? Kyrie Irving was staying with Brooklyn. Now, maybe he comes next season, possibly, who knows? But that's next season, it's not this season. So the Lakers are in a good position still. They like their team, they like where they're at. I like their team, I like where they're at. And, I just think you have flexibility with Russell Westbrook if need be, right? His contract only gets more valuable as we get closer into the season because that's less money teams have to pay. Secondly, we have those assets, so if a good deal comes to the table, we can go jump on that deal. And what better position could you be in? And worst case, we go into next season, we get more assets, we still have the assets we have, we get cap flexibility. That's not a bad position to be in. Now all of a sudden we have like 3 picks to trade. And we could maybe if Kyrie does want to leave, you work out a sign and trade deal. So that way you can still get him and then you can work out all the deals you need and whatever, and you have assets, you have this, that, and the other. Like, my point is that who knows what's on the horizon? There could be something better. especially in a player movement league where every few months a player wants out. And I'm not even talking about a superstar. I'm talking about maybe just a mid-tier guy. Like I said, like a Gary Trent or something like that just wants out. And it's like, why not? Let's go get him. Oh, like if we can give up 1 first for him, he's a guy that's young enough for the future. He's a guy that could really help now. He fits in great with this team, with this roster. Get what I'm saying? Like you could have something like that happen and be done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of this information? Are you excited? Do you think I'm glad that Rob didn't do anything. Let's see what this season brings. Let's see what's on the horizon. Or do you think, no, he should have done something? However you feel about the situation, whatever your opinions and thoughts are, I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below. Quick little shameless plug, everyone. If you enjoy my videos and commentary here on this channel, As It Stands Lakers, then check out the link down in the description below and go subscribe to As It Stands. Believe it or not, As It Stands was the first channel. If it wasn't for that channel, this channel would never have existed. Because of the success of that channel, it led me to want to create this Lakers channel. So do me a huge solid. If you're not subscribed over there, go check that out. Go subscribe over there. I talk all things sports, all teams, things like that, not just the Lakers. So if you just enjoy my commentary and want to hear me talk about other things, or you just, are a fan of other sports and other teams, go check that out. I promise you will not be disappointed. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.